Welcome to the second round of conversation with Ali Al-Shrouk, our crime and police reporter, who is going to give us the top stories of the week, and we are going to start with a really quirky story.
Yeah, I know, but it's been a busy week again.
Yeah.
And today in Gulf News, it was just like really a funny story happened today. A video went viral on social media. It's about a tourist from a Gulf country. He was in Saigon in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And he was walking in the streets and he just like saw a car.
A familiar sight.
Yeah. He saw a car with Dubai Police logo.
Okay.
The car was decorated with the green color of Dubai Police logo. So he was surprised and he was hanging around the car. And then he discovered that the owner of the car, he's a guy from Vietnam. He basically loved the logo of Dubai Police, and he decided to use it and decorate his car. So it was really funny, and it went viral.
And sorry to interrupt you, Ali. If you actually please definitely log on to gulfnews.com and watch the video, because when you see that video, that car looks identical to a Dubai Police vehicle.
I mean, when I first looked at the car and the video, I thought it's a Dubai Police car actually in Vietnam, but I mean, I was surprised about it. The thing is, Dubai Police also said, when it's contacted by the Gulf News, Dubai Police said it's illegal for people to put Dubai Police logo on their personal car. It's they're breaching the intellectual properties rights for Dubai Police. They feel happy that someone
loved the
logo of their car, but still it's illegal, and they hope the authorities in Vietnam just like to take an action against the car and maybe take the logo.
I
think the guy will be upset.
And advise him that might not be the right decoration for your car. Moving on, talking about that and about people breaching the law, the other story is pretty serious. It's about a SIM scam involving millions, actually.
Yes, it was a case involving a SIM card swap. It's 2.8 million dirham stolen from an account of in a local bank in the UAE. The customer, he's not a resident in the UAE. So what's happened? A guy, he forged official documents and his signature, and he requested a telecom company to move the ownership of the SIM card of the bank customer.
Because I think he went there up to them and told them that he had lost the SIM card and he wanted a replacement.
So this scam is called a SIM swap scam. This guy managed to, after he get the ownership of the SIM card, he managed to get PIN code from the bank. You know, the online banking system. It depends on your mobile phone and your number. So he managed to get it. He gained access on the account, and he managed to transfer 2.8 million dirham to another account belonging for another suspect in a company in order to withdraw the cash. So the guy was sentenced to 5 years in jail.
But they caught him.
Yeah, they caught him. He was sentenced to 5 years in jail and deportation. It's a kind of SIM card swap scam. It's happened recently a couple of times. So the owner, the bank employee, the bank customer, he discovered that his phone was disconnected. So then he discovered the whole scam.
Okay. And which I think it is also important to pay heed not to save your important information on your phone.
Yeah, definitely.
And on your devices, keep it somewhere safe.
Yeah, definitely.
And
the
if
SIM card,
and if you find anything suspicious, report it to the police
at
the earliest possible.
Immediately. I think that's what's helped to recover the money in this case. The quick action from the owner of the bank account.
And speaking of calling the police for help, the third one is about a child abuse case.
Yes, it is a sad story actually, but what's happened is a 5 years old child, he was playing in a sharing accommodation when a man, he approached him and he sexually abused him. He touched him inappropriately. Thankfully, the uncle of the child, he saw what's happened, and he immediately went and pushed the guy away, and he managed to rescue the child. But still, the defendant, he's now on trial today actually in Dubai courtroom. He's on trial for sexual abuse charges. For abusing the 5-year-old boy.
Yeah, which brings to mind a very important point that the Dubai police tells you: do not let children be unattended, etc. And I think it's also important to talk to your children about good touch, bad touch, having that conversation and that communication, especially in a world where they have a lot more exposure to people, things, and various kinds of...
I totally agree with you, Anupa. The thing with this case, it's a sharing accommodation, and so it's usually strangers with your kids. So it's always, parents should look after their children. Don't leave them unattended.
Yeah.
And always learn them about the bad touch.
Yes.
And about not to talk to strangers.
Exactly. And you can also teach them to call the police.
Yes.
In times of need, and in case they are afraid and they can't get in touch with their parents at that particular point.
Yes.
Which brings us to the last part, which was a conference that took place this week and was very important and is something I think very useful to our viewers, which is finding or seeing how traffickers behave. So if you see suspicious behavior, you can actually report them.
Yes, it's a part of a new campaign by Dubai Police. It's to combat the human trafficking, with many people traveling these days also.
Yeah, summer holidays. Yeah, lot of
Dubai Police, in cooperation with other government parties and the United Nations, they launched a campaign to educate and raise awareness of passengers what to do and how to report human trafficking incidents while they are actually inside the airport, because inside the airports, maybe as a traveler you can see any kind of form of suspicious act from traffickers. So if you just call Dubai Police for that. So Dubai Police with those government organizations gonna train also the staff employee of the airport how to identify the human trafficker and the human trafficking victims. It is part of UAE efforts to tackle the human trafficking crime.
Because it's a massive global issue.
It is massive. And according to United Nations, 75% of human trafficking cases happened for women and children.
Yes.
And in the UAE, last year, the UAE recorded around 30 human trafficking cases involving 77 traffickers. What's the UAE doing? It's a huge step for tackling the human trafficking incident. Despite it's an international crime and it's an organized crime. In the UAE, basically, the human trafficking mostly it's about sex exploitation. Most of the cases and most of the incidents. And actually, UAE and Dubai Police doing a brilliant job in tackling and arresting the traffickers and present them to justice, especially with the toughest punishments by UAE courts. I mean, the trafficker can get a life in jail sentence. So this kind of measurements help to just reduce the problem of human trafficking.
Which is a huge problem.
Yeah.
And since they are making such a concerted effort, we would call upon all our viewers that if you do see any suspicious behavior or activity, do report and help as much as possible. So thank you once again for joining us today, and we'll see you again for a conversation with Ali on Thursday next week.